The rain was coming down so hard that morning it looked like the sky itself was breaking apart. Cars rushed past, splashing dirty water across the street, but one small figure stood frozen on the corner, clutching something tightly in her tiny hands. 7-year-old Hira was soaked, shivering under her faded pink backpack. She kept staring at her mother's old, silent motorcycle, a machine that hadn't started in weeks. People walked by, barely noticing the little girl wiping tears from her cheeks. But one man noticed. Rafi, a 38-year-old mechanic with grease-stained hands and tired eyes, saw her standing there from inside his workshop. He didn't know why, but something about the child's trembling shoulders and defeated expression tugged at him. He grabbed an umbrella, walked outside, and gently knelt beside her. "What happened, little one?" Hira looked up, her voice cracking. "Uncle, can you fix Mama's bike? Please. Today is very important." Rafi glanced at the motorcycle. It was more rust than metal. Fixing it would take hours, maybe days, and the parts alone would cost more than the mother probably earned in a week. Still, he asked softly, "Why today?" Hira swallowed hard and opened her small hand. Inside lay a single coin. 1. That was all. "It's my birthday," she whispered. "Mama promised she'd take me to see Abu's grave today. But she cried all morning because the bike won't start. So I came to ask if this coin is enough to fix it." For a moment, the world slowed. Rafi felt a lump form in his throat. A child, on her birthday, standing in the storm with one coin, begging for a memory. He didn't say anything. He stood up, lifted the motorcycle onto his shoulder, and said, "Come inside. Uncle will fix everything." And just like that, her eyes lit up. Challenge 1, the bike was beyond repair. Inside the workshop, Rafi realized the truth: the bike wasn't just broken, it was dying. Rusted engine, torn wiring, damaged fuel tank, every part needed replacing. Fixing it for free would mean losing money he desperately needed. His workshop rent was overdue. He barely had enough to keep the lights on. And his own son had been asking for a school field trip fee that Rafi still hadn't managed to pay. But every time he looked at Hira sitting quietly on a stool, swinging her little feet and humming to distract herself from crying, he felt a warmth in his chest. He made a decision. He would do it anyway. For hours, he worked. He pulled out old spare parts he had been saving. He welded, hammered, rewired, and rebuilt. His hands ached. His clothes were soaked with sweat. But he didn't stop. Hira watched with hope sparkling in her eyes. At one point, she stood beside him and whispered, "Uncle, you're very kind." Rafi just smiled. Some bikes deserve another chance. What he didn't say was, "Some people do too." Challenge 2, the mother arrives and breaks down. As Rafi tightened the last bolt, a woman rushed into the workshop, breathless and panicked. Her clothes were worn, her hair messy from the rain. "Hira, I told you not to run off like that," the mother cried, grabbing her daughter in a tight embrace. She looked up at Rafi with guilt. "Sir, I'm so sorry. I know I can't afford any repairs. I didn't even know she came here." Rafi wiped his hands on a cloth. "Your daughter didn't run off. She brought hope with her." The woman looked confused, until he kicked the motorcycle starter. Vroom. The engine roared to life, smooth and strong. Hira squealed with joy. Her mother stared in disbelief, tears filling her eyes. "How much do I owe you?" her mother whispered. Rafi shook his head. "Nothing. It's a birthday gift." The woman broke down, covering her face as tears streamed. "You don't understand, today is the first birthday without her father. She wanted to visit him so badly. I had no idea how to take her." Rafi felt something twist inside him. He understood. More than she realized. His own wife had died years ago. He knew the ache of unfinished promises, of birthdays spent trying to smile through pain. Challenge 3, Rafi's own struggle revealed. When the mother thanked him again and again, she paused and suddenly noticed the nearly empty workshop shelves and the dark corner where unpaid bills lay hidden. "Sir, you helped us even when you're struggling yourself," she said quietly. He smiled faintly. Helping someone doesn't wait for a perfect time. But the truth was heavy on his shoulders. He didn't know how he would pay rent that week. He had given away precious parts he could never replace. Still, for the first time in months, he felt light. The turning point, a miracle in disguise. The next morning, as Rafi opened his shop, he froze. A small crowd stood outside. The mother from yesterday walked forward, holding a business card. "Sir, I told my boss about you," she said with a bright smile. "He wants to meet the mechanic with the biggest heart in the city." Rafi raised an eyebrow. "Your boss?" She nodded. "My boss owns a chain of automotive centers across Pakistan. He's looking for a head mechanic. I told him you're the best I've ever seen." Before Rafi could process the words, a large black SUV pulled up. Out stepped a tall man in a suit. "You're Rafi?" "Yes, sir. I heard what you did yesterday." The man extended his hand. "We need people like you. Come meet me. Let's talk about your future." Rafi looked stunned. His hands trembled. Hira giggled and whispered, "See, uncle. A good heart always gets a good surprise." He smiled. "I think you're right." Final message, the repair that repaired lives. That single act of kindness changed everything. Rafi got a new job with a stable income, benefits, and a chance to open his own training center. Hira and her mother visited him often. They brought cakes, drawings, and laughter into his workshop, now brighter than ever. And every year, on Hira's birthday, they visited her father's grave together, on the same motorcycle Rafi repaired with his whole heart. In the end, it wasn't a coin that changed their lives. It was a little girl's wish. A mechanic's kindness. And the quiet truth that helping someone else can sometimes fix the broken parts inside your own soul.